Hi, I'm Judy Litt. Welcome to Go With Yin Yoga. Today I have an approximately 35-minute Yin Yoga practice focusing on body love, focusing specifically on loving our feet, something we don't focus on enough. And this practice will also get into your hips, your feet, and your ankle. You will need a couple of props. I will suggest a couple of blocks. I generally do. I will also definitely strongly suggest that you get a strap, and a blanket is always nice. So go ahead and gather up your props. Welcome back. To begin, come seated in an easy sitting position that's comfortable for you. And I invite you to close your eyes if that is comfortable, or just let them gaze down. Just notice where you are. Notice how you're feeling. Notice where your energy level might be. Notice what your feelings about working on your feet in Yin Yoga might be. And just take a couple of breaths here. In through the nose and then exhaling through the mouth. Keep your eyes closed. I'm going to explain our breathing practice for this Yin Yoga practice, and it is called box or square breath. So right now I'd like you to imagine a square in front of your face, and that's all I'd like you to imagine right now as I explain the rest of it. It's a very simple practice where we inhale for about 4 counts, hold our breath in for about 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, and hold that breath in for 4 counts before doing it all over again. And the square comes in, and I will cue you where you start at the bottom left, inhale up, go over to the top right, inhale down, and so on and so forth, but I will cue you for the first 3 rounds. Inhale, imagine you're at the bottom left of your square. 2, 3, 4, hold, top left. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, top right. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Bottom left. Inhale, going up towards the top left. 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Over at the top right. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. 2, 3, 4. And if the imagery is just not working for you, completely let that go. And just inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Couple more rounds. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Just let your breath come back to normal, keeping your eyes closed. I'd like to read you a poem from Donna Ashworth. It's called Loving Yourself. Loving yourself is a big ask. To some, it may as well be a mountain covered in treacherous ice. A journey too far, a journey so overwhelming that finding the start point can often seem impossible. Begin by showing yourself some slack every now and again. Move into a healthy mutual respect, and then perhaps gravitate to treating yourself as you would a good friend. Laugh at your own jokes. See the life well lived in each tummy roll, and be forgiving when you've made mistakes or behaved as every human does, imperfectly. It's the least you would give to another, so it shouldn't be too far a stretch. Loving yourself is a big ask, so simply start with kindness, and the rest will come. And I love that last line because I think that's so true, especially when you're working on body love, kindness towards your body, ahimsa to your body. If you don't love your body, you're never going to be able to make permanent changes to it. You might be able to make changes in the short term, but they won't stick. It all starts with love. And enough talk. Go ahead and come off your block. You might want to keep them in front of you. Come into a tabletop position. Your hands can be on your blocks. Toes are tucked under. Reach back and really move those toes forward. Basically, you're trying to get your ankles over your toes. And you may or may not be able to do that. And this is toe squat. Now, you may be much more flexible than me, and this may be very simple for you. It is not simple for me. It is great for our feet, though. We're not going to stay here for too long. So you come into it without coming into your deepest expression of this pose. And as you rest here and allow the fascia of the bottoms of your feet to really begin to open up, and that takes some time. We're just barely getting into it in this hold. Maybe take your hands to your thighs, or not. And the object is to have your head over your sit bones, basically, a nice straight spine. And we're here for about another minute. And if you need to come out of it, and I might, go ahead, come back down to your blocks. And you can really kind of push and allow that fascia to open this way. I haven't done this in a while, so it's a little challenging for me today. Maybe come back into a deeper expression. And then let that go. Yin Yoga asks us to get comfortable being uncomfortable. But I'm not going to say that that is always easy. Come back and bring your hips to your heels. And then slowly walk your hands behind you. So we're now stretching the tops of our feet as well as our ankles. And again, we're not going to be here for too long. Bandits coming in. And you might want to bend your elbows a little bit so that your knees come off a little bit. I'm not going to go too far into the pose today. The last time I did that, yes, I had a few aches and, not pains, but a few aches. Yes, even yoga teachers can go too far. Okay, so in my case, I barely got my knees off of the mat, and that was intentional on my part. So go ahead and grab your blocks. Whoops, sorry, buddy. Bring them up towards the top of your mat. Take your legs out to either side. Oh, buddy. Watch out, buddy. Watch out. Coming down onto your elbows. And then all the way onto your back. Hopefully you can see me, because Bandit's doing his best to block. Bring the soles of your feet together, and go ahead and let your knees fall out to either side of the mat without pushing them. Can you lay down, bud? No, apparently not. just letting them relax. Recline butterfly. If this feels uncomfortable, like your thighs are clenching, go ahead and take a block and put it underneath those thighs. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just to allow your muscles to completely relax. This should feel good. Oh. And you can take your hands to your heart, to your belly, one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, or just have them down by your sides, whatever feels right to you. Another little trick is you can take a blanket and roll it up, put it around your ankles so that it's crossing, the ends are crossing behind your ankles, and that can really help your feet relax into this pose as well. I often like to do that, but right now I'm enjoying the blanket under my head. One of our objectives in Yin Yoga is to come to stillness in the pose, but sometimes we do need to make little micro adjustments as time goes by, and that is perfectly okay. As we lay here for approximately the last minute, I want you to think about the last time you gave your feet some gratitude. A parigraha. Do you take those feet for granted? Do you ever think about how lucky you are that you are able to walk, that you can move on your own, that you don't need a cane or a walker or even a wheelchair? These are all wonderful things. And even though as we get older, oftentimes we begin to have trouble with our feet, we can still have so much gratitude for them. I know I do. The last couple of breaths here. Go ahead and reach down underneath your thighs, slowly bringing your knees up towards the sky or ceiling. Go ahead and move the blocks over to one side. And go ahead and Reach down and bring your knees back up towards the sky or ceiling. Hopefully you have your strap nearby. Soles of the feet are on the mat. Knees are bent. And go ahead and grab your strap. Now, if you're very flexible, we're going to reach our leg up, keeping it as straight as we can. If you're very flexible, you can use your peace sign fingers to grab onto your big toe. Now, most of us are not that flexible, and that's where a strap is great. So you can come on, put it around the ball of your foot, and just hold on near the bottom. So in this pose, we're trying to relax our muscles. And after the first few breaths, perhaps you'd like to stretch out your right leg along the mat. And begin to let that left foot fall out towards the side, so coming straight out from your body. Holding on to the end of your mat. Hovering just a little bit above the floor. If this feels too uncomfortable, you can take a block and put it under the shin, the foot, wherever it needs to be. On your next inhale, bring that left leg straight up towards the ceiling or sky. And then we're going to let it fall down over towards your right side. Now, this may not be a very large movement. This is big toe stretch, 3 different waves. And it gets both into external rotation of the hip and internal rotation of the hip, into your hamstrings, and in a generally very accessible and usually safe way. And if you feel too much tension here, you might want to raise your foot a little bit more initially. And then maybe let it come back down as things begin to open up. Inhale your left leg up towards the ceiling or sky. Bend it in towards your chest. Take the strap off. Bring both feet to your mat. Knees are bent, and just relax here for a few breaths. And before you move, noticing how you feel, right side versus left side. Any changes on the side we just worked. And maybe just a change in the flow of energy on the side we just worked. Or perhaps no change, and that's normal as well. Go ahead, take your right knee and bend it in towards your chest. Go ahead and grab that strap. Place it around the ball of your right foot. And stretch that leg up towards the sky, holding your strap down near your torso. And for your first few breaths, keep the left leg knee bent. And perhaps you'd like to stretch the left leg straight out on the mat. When you do, notice whether or not you're beginning to contract some muscles in your right leg. See if you can soften them up. And then begin to let that right leg fall open to the right side. Holding on to the strap to support it. Maybe backing out from that first edge a little bit. As you do so, really consider Donna's question of, can you just begin to treat yourself, and in this instance, your feet, like a good friend? Inhale, left leg comes back to center. And exhale, it begins to come back over the right leg. Remember, this is not a huge movement. Think about making friends with those hips and the feet, your whole body. Your next inhale, bring that right foot up towards the ceiling or sky. Go ahead and bend that right knee and remove the strap. Take your feet as wide as the mat and let your legs just fall over to one side and then the other. We call this windshield wipering your hips or your legs or both. And it should feel really good after a lot of very intense hip work. come to stillness. Soles of the feet are on the mat. And inhale, begin to take your right leg in towards your chest. Reach down, grab a hold of your big toe between your thumb and your peace sign fingers, index and middle fingers, and then begin to press the foot up towards the sky as you keep that right knee bent. And then we're going to go and do the same thing on the other side, unless it feels like too much, in which case you can just keep the leg right as it is with the sole of your foot on the mat and your knee bent towards the sky. You can stretch the other leg down along the mat, or you can bend the left knee into your chest as well. Grab hold onto the big toe or your ankles or your shins, wherever you can hold on to. If you're just taking the half variation of Happy Baby, I'll cue you when to change. And so by pressing into that big toe, we are stimulating meridians. And working with the liver and the gallbladder meridians. And we are trying to release anger so that we can bring in gratitude, aparigraha. You can also take the strap and put it across both feet and hold onto the strap. It's another option. You can relax your shoulders down onto the mat. Maybe let go of that big toe and hold on to the feet instead. If you're taking half Happy Baby, I invite you to switch legs now. Circle your thoughts back around in this last minute to that gratitude you have for these feet that you are holding onto. And though we're not actually strengthening them in Happy Baby, we are letting our legs rejuvenate. We're letting the blood flow away from the feet and back up towards our heart, showing our heart a little love, making sure it's not working too hard. And then let go of one foot, bring the foot back to the mat. Let go of the other foot, bring it back to the mat. And perhaps windshield wiper your legs before moving into Shavasana, our final pose. Just any little movements you need so that you can spend about 5 minutes in Shavasana. And then coming to stillness, stretching one leg down along the mat, and the other, letting the feet open to either side, letting the shoulders relax, arms come down slightly away from your body, at hip length, hip height, and palms can be either up or down. And relax your forehead. Soften your tongue, your neck, your shoulders. Relax your arms and your hands. Let your back release and your stomach soften. Let your hips relax. Relaxing your legs, your feet, your toes. Staying here in stillness. Closing down your eyes if that's comfortable for you until you hear me speak again. Still keeping your eyes closed. I want to read just a few paragraphs of the poem I read at the beginning. You'll be hearing this poem a lot during October or November. Yes, November. Laugh at your own jokes. See the life well lived in each tummy roll. And be forgiving when you've made mistakes or behaved as every human does, imperfectly. It's the least you would give to another, so it shouldn't be too far a stretch. Loving yourself is a big ask, so simply start with kindness. The rest will come. Begin to deepen your breath. So keeping your eyes closed, making any movements you need to bring yourself back into this day, this evening, whenever you're practicing. Moving the head, the hands, the feet, the hips. And your next inhale, inhale the arms up, really reaching up. Maybe arching that back a little bit and wiggling side to side, stretching the feet away from the hands. And on the exhale, take your feet to your mat, bending the knees. Simply allow yourself to slowly roll to one side, stretching your bottom arm along the mat and cradling your head on that bottom arm. Taking a few deep breaths here. Thinking about how body love starts. It starts with simple kindness to your body, however that may look to you. It may be really difficult when you start. You may have nothing about your body that you feel kind towards right now. But try to see if you can find some small thing to start with. A toe, a finger, maybe your smile. That's how body love begins. Small baby steps. And the more you practice it, the easier it gets, I promise. We all will still have our times where we don't like what's going on with our body. Believe me, I certainly still do. But the more we practice loving it, the fewer and fewer and less intense the times when we don't love it will be. Slowly begin to bring your hands together in front of your heart, bringing together body, mind, and spirit, thanking yourself for taking this time to show your body loving kindness, ahimsa, and gratitude, aparigraha. I thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with me. Begin to rub your hands back and forth together, bringing a little energy back into your body, and then bring the palms to stillness in front of your heart. Slightly bow your head over your hands and begin to blink your eyes open. Excuse me. Slowly begin to raise your head, taking in the rest of the room or outside, noticing what's around you, noticing what you hear, what you feel, what you see, even what is touching you. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this practice, please click the like button. And if you want to practice with me again, go ahead and click the bell to subscribe to my channel.